This guy again. Best intro ever. Yes. Hello and welcome to another episode with today we've got like crazy. Okay, sorry, I just have my another video on in the background, but yeah, we're just gonna be discussing a couple of big items, mainly rumors. To be honest, this is not stuff that is like it's not confirmed yet, but it is from a reputable source. Hollywood Reporter obviously did the big expose on Ray Fisher, did the big thing on Snyder. So they've got inside information definitely on this kind of stuff. So they've mentioned some things in the article that are very, very explosive today. Here with me, I've got JG Shaolin Terrific, Fenya the Ice Wolf. Fenya, apparently you wanted to meet JG, so you can say.
No, I just wanted to greet the guy and say that it's happy to finally be able to be on stream with you, man.
Hey, what's up, bro? Yeah, you know me, JG Shaolin Terrific, kicking ass, taking names for a living, man.
All right, then.
All right. Cool.
So for me to introduce myself. Oh, shit. Well, I'm just Fenner the Asshole. A wolf walking around the streets trying to survive in this crazy world and trying to have good superheroes in their movies. Just that.
Exactly.
Good stuff. All right, so we're going to go through this article today, which is behind Warner Brothers' search for a black Superman. After enlisting Ta-Nehisi Coates to write the latest feature on the superhero, the studio is searching for its director and star as it kickstarts the next phase of its DC universe. Can you do me a favor, Fenya? I believe it's your thing in the background. Can you just mute your mic while I read the article? And if you want to interrupt at any point, just let me know. If there's something that triggers you or you want to comment on, just let me know, guys. And we'll stop and we'll discuss that bit of the article. All right, thanks, man. Begins the article. While promoting his Amazon Prime film, Tom Clancy's Without Remorse in late April, Michael B. Jordan put a kryptonite pin in any rumors that he might suit up for Warner Brothers' next Superman. I'm flattered that people have me in the conversation, Jordan told The Hollywood Reporter. It's definitely a compliment, but I'm just watching on this one. With that, a whole new guessing game had kicked off, centered on who will play the Man of Steel, and arguably more pressing, who will direct. Sources say J.J. Abrams, who is producing the film, is not among the many possibilities being considered. When Warner Brothers announced on February that celebrated author Ta-Nehisi Coates is writing the screenplay and Abrams is producing, it did not address the matter of helming. But insiders say Warner Brothers and DC are committed to hiring a black director to tackle what will be the first cinematic incarnation of Superman featuring a black actor, with one source adding that putting Abrams at the helm would be tone deaf. No. Warner Brothers, you know what's going to be fucking tone deaf? Doing a black Superman fucking movie. That's what's going to be stupid and
can I just jump in here?
Yeah.
This is something I've been asking myself for years. What the hell makes Warner Brothers think that black people want to be Superman?
Yeah.
Why do they think that every black person wants to be every superhero there is? Why can't we just have our own superheroes?
I really have no idea, and it's a good question. And more specifically, Superman. More specifically, these iconic superheroes. I don't know what intel they're getting from the black community that tells them. Have they put out a vote that black people would like to see a black Superman, or did one black guy say it to them and a bunch of white?
They don't listen to the black community, not the parts of the black community that actually care. The parts of the black community that think that Idris Elba isn't black just because he doesn't eat Caribbean food. That's the parts they listen to.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, you're right. I agree.
Completely fucking stupid. And you want to talk about tone deaf? That's what I'm saying. It's like, what do you want? Brownie points for making Superman black? You're trying to set up a universe, right? A mainstream universe, and you've got two great characters that have historically been depicted as black, i.e., Jon Stewart, and
Falcon,
you've got
Steel, Black Lightning, Icon,
no, dude.
Static. The list is huge.
Dude, I'm talking about the Justice League. I don't care about those side dish characters. You might. I'm not interested in Steel. I'm not, fair enough. Static Shock, I know he's had a cartoon. I'd love for him to come out and have a film or a HBO Max TV series, but let him, let's do that like after we've set up the main characters, right? So you've got Martian Manhunter right there. Great black character. Basically, black Superman. He's been depicted as black in more recent times, so he'd be perfectly accepted as a powerful character and an important character within the DCEU. He has his own mythology. He has his own villains. Like the White Martians are quite cool villains. He's got Malefic, which is his brother, who's also another very cool villain. Why on earth do they think that this is what we want, right? And we're going to go into something further when we talk about this a little bit further. But do you have anything else to say before I move on?
Well,
no?
In my idea, I think this is the equivalent of them just putting a treat out there. You see how when you put a little dog treat and your dog runs around just for you to give him? I think they're trying to do this with the black communities of the world because they think that they can just put this around like a black Superman, just put it around with their hands, and we're going to show up without money and give it to them. But that's not how it is.
It's not going to happen. Anyway, in a fitting twist, the director's search is pitting DC against none other than Marvel. Sorry, if you can mute again. None other than Marvel, as Warner Brothers looks to fill its Superman vacancy. Marvel is on the hunt. Sorry, could you mute your mic again, please, man? Yeah, thanks, man. No, you haven't done it. Thanks, man. Marvel is on the hunt for a Blade helmet and is combing through the same list. Right, so here we go. Marvel's doing the sensible thing. They've taken Blade, a cool character, and they're taking an opportunity, taking a chance on a cool black character. Now they're doing two black characters. They've done Black Panther, now they're doing Blade. This is the right way to do it, right?
Yeah.
As much as I am not a big fan of some of what Marvel does in terms of, the way it pushes, well, it doesn't.
Black representation.
Yeah, well, it's not about pushing black representation. I mean the way in which they clearly want some brownie points, like some back pats for actually doing it. When you should do that, anyway, right? Shouldn't be like this big fucking massive deal. Just make a Black Panther movie, and hopefully people will come. But anyway, the way they marketed it worked, so good for them. That was very clever of them to do it that way, I guess. But it was also, I think, like a little bit manipulative the way they did it. I think it would have just been nice for them to just bring out a female hero, bring out a black hero, say, hey, isn't it cool we're doing this, and leave it at that. But
yeah, and it doesn't matter who's writing it, because anyone can write anyone if they are actually energizing to do it. If they actually care about writing this character good, they'll do it good. I mean, for example, Blade and both Black Panther, they were done by two white Jewish dudes, and they were amazing characters. I mean, if you guys want to look for a good comic book run, I suggest going for Jack Kirby's Black Panther run. It was amazing. Makes the movie look like nothing.
I don't mind them using black directors behind the scenes, to direct the movies. But I'd prefer if they just chose the right person for the right movie. And to me, they did choose the right director for Black Panther. But I'm also a big fan of, how about Rick Famuyiwa do a Flash movie? Why do the black actors or women have to direct? Women has to direct women. Black director has to direct, black superhero. You can mix it up. Let them do whatever suits their particular style of filmmaking. And I think that would be much, much better. That's where I agree with you on, Fenya. But like in general, I just think Marvel is doing it good. They're searching for black characters. Why doesn't DC do the same? It's not like Martian Manhunter and Green Lantern are no-name characters. These are big, they're B-list superheroes, but they could be raised to A-list, and they've got fantastic universes to flesh out. But anyway, we'll go into it a little bit more on what we're talking about and why I'm so mad at this particular thing. But the question will come down to what kind of filmmaker Bad Robot and Warner's want. An up-and-comer who can be backed by Abrams, who knows his way around, his or her way around. Thank you for being so woke, by the way. His or her way around tentpoles and franchises, or an established filmmaker like Barry Jenkins or a Ryan Coogler. The former list can include Creed 2 Stephen Capel Jr., J.G. Dillard, Regina King, who got raves for her drama One Night in Miami, and Shaka King, who is popular at Warner's thanks to his Best Picture Oscar nominee, Judas and the Black Messiah. Some potential directors have met with studios for both films. What do you mean? For both films. Even as one agent said, the process was phenomenally early. Meanwhile, Coogler may be a non-starter for either assignment, given that he will be occupied with Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, which releases July 8th, 2022. Now, here's what I want to say about this. This is what I wanted to get to, and this is what really pisses me off, right? What I was just talking about, matching directors, right, to the tone of what you're actually doing. Now, which one of you guys have seen One Night in Miami and the Judas and the Black Messiah?
I've seen both.
I have not seen either of those movies.
Yep, we know about you, man.
For God's sake, do not play that card with me. Do not play that card with me. I watch what I think is good and what I can find.
Okay, all right, good. So, be quite honest with me, right? Watching One Night in Miami or a Judas and the Black Messiah, do you think, personally, JG, that what if you could think after watching those movies, what superhero from the DC universe would you want them to direct? After watching those movies, what tone do you think that suits? And do you think it suits like something like Superman?
No. If anything, they would both probably be good for maybe Icon or something like that, because it kind of fits the mold of that, of black people's race and all that stuff. It fits what they do. So, but as far as the main core to DC, the Green Lanterns, the Martian Manhunter, stuff like that, neither one of them, I believe, can do well with those films. I think they can create it somewhat of a good story, but it may be more of a woke story, right? And not a superhero story, which is what we want to see.
That's interesting. That's really interesting, because I would say the complete opposite to you. I think One Night in Miami and even Judas and the Black Messiah screams doing something like Martian Manhunter or specifically a John Stewart Green Lantern. And I'll tell you why. First of all, I'll start with John Stewart Green Lantern, right?
Okay.
John Stewart Green Lantern is a character that basically doesn't have a backstory. Yeah. He has a minimum, like really paper thin backstory. If you want to talk about a Green Lantern with a real origin story, it's actually it's actually Hal Jordan. Hal Jordan's got the real origin story. The rest of them are just legacy characters.
Hal Jordan or Kyle Rayner? Kyle Rayner also kind of has one too.
He kind of has one as well. Yeah, you're right. So does John Stewart, but it's not fleshed out. There's never been a single comic book run that has really fleshed out his story. I mean, go and look for John Stewart origin graphic novel. You're not going to find it. It doesn't exist. All right. So my point is this. You've got the perfect opportunity to get people, especially like someone like Regina King, who's just done a movie about like people, like the Black experience and all of this kind of thing, to come in and really be able to take on a superhero who doesn't have an established story, that if you shift it around or change it around, it's really going to piss people off. It's not going to. They'll have a lot of creative range with this kind of story to be able to make it something where they can touch on certain political issues they're interested in, right? Without like distracting from the main story. They can talk about, all we know about Jon Stewart is he's got a military background. Now, what does that mean in terms of America?
Plus he's Black Lightning's brother-in-law too.
Well, yeah, okay, exactly. I didn't know that. Yeah, that could be a good thing to touch on as well, right? So that's all we really know. I mean, we know he's a military guy. We know that he was an architect at some point, but we don't know really much more about Jon Stewart than that. And so, to me, that's the perfect opportunity to get a young, creative, Black director, writer team to actually flesh out that story and then make it really interesting. Now, you'd have to give them some guidance, obviously. You'd have to say, look, dude, we don't want too much of this set on Earth. We want like maybe a third of it set on Earth, and then the rest of it, we want to, we want him to be out in space. We don't want to make the same mistake as the former Green Lantern, where you've got an Earthbound Green Lantern. We want this guy out there doing things. So whatever you want to do, on Earth and explore your themes and stuff, get that out in the origin story, and then maybe we can continue that in the second movie or something like that. But again, what has anything you've seen in either Judas and the Black Messiah or this fucking One Night in Miami got anything to do with Superman? Has anything to do with anything you can conceive conceptually will have any connection to Superman's mythos? And then, sorry, this is going to be a bit of a rant, and I'll finish just after this. And then you've got Martian Manhunter, which I've always said, once again, you've got an alien whose whole fucking species were wiped out. That's the basic story of Martian Manhunter. There's different things. Maybe sometimes it's a virus that does it. Other times it's a an interplanetary or an intergalactic space armada, like the White Martians, as they call them, who wiped his people out. That is a story. Correct. That is a story that connects with the kind of stories that Shaka King and Regina King are telling. That is a very, something that people can relate to from the Black race. Again, what in Superman's mythos has anything to do with us? Okay, so go on.
Absolutely nothing. Nerdman, once I get my channel going, you and me are going to have a lot of videos together about me teaching you about comic book history, because you have a couple of fails there. But yeah, there's small things that have been altered.
What fails? Tell me.
Shots fired.
Well, the White Martian and Green Martian war is not 100% black and white as you're depicting it. Which, if a smart writer was picked, they could have been a very big, interesting concept on that. Because in Mars, the White Martians were the victims. They were oppressed by the Green Martians that were superior, who were also oppressed by the Red Martians that were literally the super rich part, kings of the whole society. That concept. The White Martians were the oppressed ones. They took revenge and in the process destroyed the planet.
Dude, but that dude, let me just make something clear, right? Which comic run are you talking about?
Well, I'm kind of going for the originals and a couple of the new ones.
Because it seems like
in the original that is not the case. The first
original John was brought out through an accident to Earth. Yes, a lab accident brought John to Earth, and he had to live here.
And his brother basically
Mahala Fahak, yes.
Yeah,
started a war on Mars. Yeah.
He didn't start a war on Mars. He basically had set off a virus and it killed all of the green Martians. It was a telepathic virus that basically took them out. If they used their telepathy, they died. That was the first ever origin of Martian Manhunter, as far as I know.
Okay, I think we're very lost out here in the concept. We're going to have to leave this for another time and just bring our books and point the point. Where exactly are we speaking of each other?
Okay, all right, we'll do that.
Your one sounded very fucked up right now.
Your one sounded really interesting. I think that's the latest one, which is a comic that I want to read.
Yeah, but, and it could be a very good concept if written correctly, exploring that constant war and hate does not always lead to the good path.
Right. Okay. Exactly. So anyway, what else were you going to say? You were going to, respond to what I was saying.
I'm sorry, that for me?
Yeah, you were responding to what I was saying, and then I interrupted you because you said I was wrong about comics, and that really pissed me. I'm joking, but you were saying something.
I'm gonna be honest. I got no idea where exactly I stopped. I kind of lost myself there for a second. Can you repeat the question? Can you repeat that for me for a second? Because I'm really lost here.
Okay, don't worry. So basically, what I was saying is that that given the context of Martian Manhunter's story, that you can see how a black writer and stuff like that, who's interested in politics and that kind of thing, would be much better suited to tell a Martian Manhunter story, right? If they're interested in those kind of ideas rather than a Superman story, which has nothing to do with that. Superman is much, much more sci-fi. He's much more, that's what you explore in a Superman story. It's much more science fiction kind of based. It's much more, like a positive, hopeful, story. It's not about kind of race relations and all of these kind of issues. Whereas Martians, whether it's, the green Martians are the oppressors or the white Martians are the oppressors, whichever one you want to take it, it's actually something that's dealing with the conflict like that, that you can actually explore in the film.
Yeah, Martian Manhunter is Mars is a very political planet before its destruction. I mean, where do you think Manhunter's name comes from? The Manhunters were literally the police force of Mars, the most powerful telepaths and telekinetics. So you have there, and John himself admitted the Manhunters were very corrupt from the inside. So you have right there images of police brutality. They could work against the white Martians that were the oppressed ones.
Right, exactly. So again, you have a story that is relevant, whereas you force black. And what pisses me off about this is it's going to fail, right? And not only is it are they going to be like, oh, this is another fail for Superman. Superman doesn't work. They're also going to say, oh, this is a fail for the black director. They've got these excellent, talented directors, and they're misguiding them because obviously they clearly don't know about comics. Regina King.
Absolutely.
I don't mind Tanishi Coates or Regina King or anybody coming and writing these stories. But if they had any clue about comics, they wouldn't even have pitched this idea. It seems like they just think, "Oh, the IP Superman, let's make him black." Yeah, and then they'll use the stupid, obvious argument, "Oh, well, they're Kryptonian. They can be any race. Who gives a fuck?" He's classically this kind of way.
That's actually something I never got. The black Kryptonians were really created as a small one-time thing from an alternate dimension. It wasn't actually in the beginning. There were no actual black Kryptonians. There were literally only white Kryptonians. Literally.
I don't give a fuck if there were bloody green Kryptonians in as far as I'm concerned. What I'm concerned about
Fun
is
fact,
Superman.
you speak about that. There is such a thing in the multiverse. God, that's so fucking lazy.
Good. There's green Kryptonians. All I'm saying is, as far as Superman is concerned, we have a classic Superman. And if there were no black superheroes on the Justice League, on the main core Justice League, then maybe I'd even understand the impulse to try and do this. But when you have two clear, very, very popular ones that would be much, much better suited for these guys to actually explore, that's when it starts to piss me off. right?
Well,
And I'm so fed up of this fucking idea of making a black Superman in the main universe. Now, if it's an Elseworld story where you have like all black, what if all black superheroes were you know, the most powerful superheroes were all black? How would the world look? Like a one-off Elseworld story, like The Watchmen. I'd be down for that. That would be interesting, but not in the main fucking continuity. It's really getting me heated, and especially when you get talented directors. One Night in Miami is an excellent film. Judas and the Black Messiah, I think it's a little overrated, but I can see promise in those directors. Why set them up to fail? That's my piece.
And I agree. You know, it's I'm all for that. If it's an Elseworld, yeah, you can do a black Superman. I have no issue with that, right? But to race bend and change the main Superman to a black character, I'm not for it at all. I don't understand it. Now my fear is that if it is an Elseworld, they're gonna do Calvin Ellis, who is somebody I really don't want to see. Val-Zod.
Oh no. Apparently it was already said they're not gonna do Calvin Ellis, they're not gonna do Val-Zod. This is gonna be Clark Kent turned black.
This is gonna be Clark Kent turned black. That's the other thing. And no. Let me make this straight. Let me make this very clear. I don't give a shit if it's Clark Kent or Val-Zod or Kal-El or Val-Zod. Doesn't make a damn difference to me. Val-Zod is not the main universe Superman. If they're gonna do Val-Zod, they might as well do Clark Kent, because it's all bullshit. It's all fucking bullshit. You've got black superheroes that are popular, that are on the fucking main roster of the team, that people want to see, that people are asking for, and you're doing this fucking dumb-ass fucking Val-Zod story. Why? What, do you want the whole team to be black? Is that it? I don't get it. Is it going to be Superman, Martian Manhunter, and fucking John Stewart, all of them on the Justice League together? Like, what is going on? And in terms of representation, they have a perfect opportunity, you know, despite what, you know, Zack Snyder has done, to do this fucking, what was it, Atom or the, you know, what's the DC version of Ant-Man character? Is it the Atom?
Yeah.
Right? They built that up perfectly in Zack Snyder's Justice League. They've got a good charismatic actor to actually play that role. I actually liked him. Go and do that fucking movie. Why not do a martial arts kung fu movie with the Atom kind of as a, you know, who can do martial arts while big and small? That'll look fucking epic.
Yeah, and try to not make it like the Ant-Man. They just gotta not make it like Ant-Man.
Yeah, they could take it a little bit more seriously, like, you know, not less of a comic vibe. But imagine doing a kind of, I don't know, well, maybe that would be a bit stereotypical, but like, I could see it being a like martial arts movie where this guy...
Or they could do the original idea from the comic book, which was very emotional.
Okay, well, either one. I was just thinking out loud, like it would be a martial arts movie where a guy can actually get big and small, but he's also super good at fucking martial arts. I think that would be kind of cool. But then again, what's the most emotional version? I don't know what one you're talking about.
Yeah, I don't know much about the Atom.
I know nothing.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, you're right. Like martial arts, maybe kind of have them jump in there like they did Nightcrawler. Like just I mean, that would be fucking epic. I would enjoy it, and I love martial arts films any damn way. So I mean, I'm all for that. And plus, you see the tone that Snyder kind of had going on. You can be serious. You can have a little joker points here and there, but not like the MCU joking where somebody dies and somebody says something funny right afterwards, right? No.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's the thing about the difference between Marvel and DC, the MCU and the DC extended universe. Marvel universe is more lighthearted, but the DCU, it's a little more dark, a little more noirish, a little more, well, natural, not comedic, not I'm not talking Batman levels. I'm just talking it should be serious.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, dudes, I'll tell you what. I'm going to get to your comments later by the end of this, but we're going to move on topic quite quickly. I'm just going to read a little bit more. So if after I've read just a little bit more, we'll say our last words on this Superman thing, and then we'll move on to the second bit of news. So while the next Superman will likely land with a named director, the star could be a relative unknown, as was the case with Brandon Routh suited up for Bryan Singer's 2006 Superman Returns, and Henry Cavill donned the cape for Zack Snyder's Man of Steel. Superman Returns nor Man of Steel lived up to the outsized expectations, with the former earning $391 million worldwide and the latter taking $668 million, which isn't actually that bad, the $668 million, even though it underperformed. By contrast, James Wan's Aquaman nabbed $1.15 billion, and Todd Phillips' Joker scored $1 billion. But establishing a new tone with the launch of the next Superman franchise is key to Warner Brothers' DC film future. As such, little will remain of the so-called Snyderverse vision, which enjoyed its last hurrah with Snyder's 4-hour Justice League HBO Max in March. By the way, guys, do you know that apparently Justice League performed really, really well in China?
Oh, yes. I mean, almost a lot of things performed really well in China, except for Mulan, of course, and quite possibly Shang-Chi, too.
No, but apparently it's a super success in China, really big. Like the amount of VOD, video on demand or something for that movie
China really
is enormous.
They really eat anything that has they will eat anything.
Okay.
Literally. They won't just eat bullshit literally directed at them.
Well, no, but the reason I'm saying that, it means that with the success that it had in the American market, probably in the European market and the Asian market, it would seem that it would be sensible to do something with that success. Now, what that looks like, I think that's what they should be discussing right now. I think the problem is they've already given J.J. Abrams $500 million to sort this universe out. So they don't want to backtrack on the $500 million deal they've done with him. That's what I think. Okay, nobody has anything to say. Good. DC sees its upcoming Flash movie, which began production in April in London, as its way forward in the post-Snyderverse world. With the inclusion of such characters as Supergirl and Michael Keaton's Batman, one thing Flash does is set up the DC with a multiverse that allows for many of these incarnations and story universes to coexist.
Okay, can I just comment on something here?
Yeah, go.
I've always hated the idea of the goddamn multiverse and constant time travel to fix everything. This just makes writers being lazy and gives them less capability of actually concentrating and going through and actually thinking things through. It's a lazy concept because it really takes away the capability of risk and actually having to work. I never liked the concept of the multiverse. Why can't we just have one directed storyline where we can go for good? If a mistake happens, it stays like that. The multiverse is just lazy. Thank you for listening.
No, I completely agree with you, man. I think the multiverse is their excuse. I like the idea of a multiverse in the sense of, let's do a Red Sun movie. Let's do Justice
Elseworlds.
League,
in ways they can affect the main continuity. Yes, that is okay.
Yeah. Like, let's do a Kingdom Come movie, Like, we could just get a director to direct those stories, but
they really want to
still have the main universe running concurrent to that. I think that would be
but what they have the plan with this multiverse crap is they want to make some kind of Justice League that is connected through the multiverse, where every member is from a different universe.
Yeah, exactly. That's really.
That's kind of stupid for me. I'm sorry, it's stupid for me.
It's stupid, and I don't know what the Justice League is supposed to look like. I know that they're sorting out a Green Lantern by doing a HBO Max series first, and then as the HBO Max series goes
the original roster of the Justice League was Superman, Wonder Woman, Batman, Green Lantern, Aquaman, The Flash, Martian Manhunter.
Yeah.
That is the original roster. The others were secondary.
Right, exactly. So I'm just saying that for me, at the very least, you need your Green Lantern in there. So they should be sorting out a Green Lantern Corps movie as we speak. That's what they should be like. It should be. We should have a date for it already. It's crazy that we don't. Anyway, I think the reason for that is actually because Jeff Johns was doing it, and they probably want to move away from Jeff Johns, given what Ray Fisher has done with, in terms of his, But anyway, so far, every movie and TV show, with the exception of Matt Reeves' The Batman, starring Robert Pattinson, and set for release in March. So far, every movie and TV show, with the exception of Matt Reeves' The Batman, starring Robert Pattinson and set for release in March, HBO Max's spin-off Gotham PD, and Joker and its planned sequel will take place in the same universe. Okay, so I did misinterpret what they were saying, but we can talk about it anyway. So I've just read it and I've understood what they said. So far it is that the Batman starring Robert Pattinson and the set for release in March, and Gotham PD and Joker and its planned sequel will take place in the same universe. So, i.e., Wonder Woman, Black Superman, Aquaman, Flash, all of that will be in the same universe, as well as the Green Lantern Corps HBO Max show. I mean, I was actually really excited when I read this sentence, because I thought what it meant was they were planning to put Joker, Gotham PD, and Robert Pattinson's Batman in the same universe. So obviously that isn't quite right. But since I've got it in the title, what do you think of that idea of putting Robert Pattinson and Joaquin Phoenix Joker in the same universe?
Like I said, man, I think it'll be a problem because of the age. Because how old is Joker in the Joker film? Like what, 40s?
I think he's around. I think Bruce was a little kid, so I think this was maybe around the. I'm not 100% sure.
Like how old?
I want to say. Because by the time I think it was around 30 or 20, I guess, because you have to get in count. If Thomas is his father, you have to get in count that.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have maybe a 50-year-old Joker, maybe, and that might not work with a lot of people.
But I think you can use comic book bullshit logic to just say they don't age
at the same rate. That people age different at different speeds.
Yeah,
like Nightwing aged, yet Batman did not.
No, I would say simply like this: that basically the Joker is in two. Like, if it's a multiverse, you have Joaquin Phoenix's Joker be in one universe, the universe that we saw in the Joker, and then in Robert Pattinson's universe, he's just a different Joker. So they can make him look a little bit differently, but you could see that it will be the same kind of energy of Joker, like the same energy he was bringing at the end of the movie. You could just have in Robert Pattinson's universe, but he's just a little slightly different from the Joker in. Do you understand? I'm saying not Joker, so I'm probably confusing you guys a lot. But do you understand what I mean?
Yeah, and you look at the tone of the film, The Joker, right?
I get it.
Pretty much identical to the tone we see from the trailers in a way of Robert Pattinson's Batman, right? And it fits so well, right? Even the henchman he was fighting looks somewhat similar to the Joker's henchman that kind of started up in the air. They look kind of similar. So it's
exactly.
Yeah, and you're right. Use comic book BS. Hey, the Joaquin Phoenix is this type of Joker in that universe. But in this universe, Joaquin Phoenix is a different kind of Joker. Keep the same character. Don't have one actor playing Joker here, another actor playing Joker here, another actor playing Joker over here. That's too much.
Yeah, it's too much. It's too much Joker, and also why? Because like this, as you said, they fit in the same universe perfectly. And I hope this Batman movie lives up to expectations. I think it will, and I just think if it does, and if it's like 900 million, a 1 billion movie, people are just gonna want to see that. They're gonna want to see Joaquin Phoenix in that series, and I think Matt Reeves would be a fool to not cast him. Even though I'm sure as a director he has his dream idea of how he'd want to do the Joker, and he probably wants to have his way of doing the Joker, but Joaquin Phoenix is just too good to pass that up.
And seeing Joaquin and Pattinson play off each other and go to dialogue, dude, who doesn't want to see that? That would be just, this may be, and then fucking mark it down, this may be the best Batman film we've ever seen.
Yeah, I agree.
As a film, this may be the best Batman film we've ever seen.
Yeah, I agree with that. Fenya, I'm not going to read the rest of the article because the rest of the article just, from what I'm looking at, doesn't go.
Yeah, I can.
Yeah, so yeah, I'll read this bit. Sources tell THR that Coates is crafting a Kal-El in the vein of the original Superman comics, and will have the protagonist hail from Krypton and come to Earth. While the story is currently being crafted and many details could change, one option under consideration is for the film to be a 20th century period piece. Yeah, that doesn't interest me at all. No. Diversity and representation remains key drivers of the DC universe moving forward. So why not use diverse fucking characters? Why not use it's puzzling to me. I don't know what they're thinking. You've got
because they don't actually care about actual diversity. They just care about acting like they do and look stupid about it.
Yeah.
It's just so fucking stupid, man.
Last thing I'm gonna.
Who knows? When the film comes out, it may be a good film. Who knows? Right?
Dude, this is Ta-Nehisi Coates. Trust me, this is not gonna be good.
It's not.
I have read a lot of the shit this man has done. Almost none of it is good. Literally none of it is good. I even bought his old books that had nothing to do with comic books, and they're just chaos.
Well, for me, I like Ta-Nehisi Coates as a writer, not as a comic writer, but in his books or whatever, and I enjoy them.
Well, good for you.
At the same time, this is I kind of ignore that, but this is this is Superman, right? This is another league. This is something different, and I personally don't want what you write in your books in a Superman story. I just don't.
Yeah, I agree. So let's go to the comments and then we'll leave this one. Here we go. We didn't read this. So most likely Nadria Tucker, she started this whole mess when she started to say that Johns, Berlanti, and Helberg denied that idea. Now she, Fisher, and Snyder fans are the reason WB is thinking about this. Yeah. So I will like this movie as Coates is essentially making something like Joker for Superman. I don't see how that's the case. Do you mean like an independent movie of Superman? Because,
possibly. Like I said, I mean, good. Who knows? Right now on paper, I'm not buying it.
Well, if he's making a Superman movie that's in a completely different universe, that's a completely alt-world story, then I might be interested in that story. But I still want a main Superman. I want a mainstream Superman to be there as well. And I don't see why they can't sort things out with Henry Cavill and just make the Superman Brainiac movie that everyone wants to fucking see.
Well, you heard he's eyeing him to play Hercules. I don't know what's going to happen.
Well, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. It's sensible. All right. By Snyder fans, I mean how they are saying that DC and Warner Brothers are not allowing representation. Yeah, like Iris West in Snyder Cut, where Flash saves her, then she completely vanishes from the movie. Yeah, but she was gonna. Yeah, but she was gonna be in the Rick Fumiyawa movie for the whole movie, and she's gonna be in the new Flash movie. So that is kind of representation by their standards, anyway. So, were you gonna say something, man?
No, I agree. It's like, I mean, it's how do we define representation, right? Do we define it as having diversity in the cast, like extras or whatever, or diversity within superheroes, right? How we define diversity?
Now, look, I've always believed that diversity was different peoples with different mindsets, not different skin colors. I've always thought it was different people that thought differently, yet could coexist without self-destroying one another. That is what I always believe diversity is, not skin color.
Well, you have gender diversity, you have racial diversity, you have intellectual diversity. It's different kinds of diversity. So what diversity are they wanting?
Well, look, as I said always about this, I don't care. As you know, I like the idea of black people getting jobs in Hollywood. I'm never going to argue against that. But I don't want to set them up to fail. I don't want to set them up to look bad out here. And this is going to make them look bad out here, right? Doing a Superman movie when everyone is, clamoring for a new Superman movie, and they want it's not about just about being right. It's about like what that tells you about the direction they're taking with this. And it doesn't sound like the Superman we know and love. And that's what we want to see in the main continuity. Again, if you're interested in doing Elseworld stories, they will only have that kind of power if you have your main stories set up already. And anyway, so judging someone by the content of their character, I don't know what you were responding to, but yeah, that's a novel idea, isn't it, Mads? Mama Bear. I'd like to see One Night in Miami. Highly recommended, right?
Yeah.
JG?
Yeah, really good.
John Stewart needs to get a hard origin like Hal did. Yeah, exactly. There's no graphic novel about John Stewart's origin story. Nothing telling you where he came from. And that's what Marvel actually does really well in their comics. Even their smaller, trashy characters like Ant-Man. Yeah. You can search for Ant-Man and you'll find a graphic novel telling you his origin story, or a comic series telling you his origin story. They don't have that. Even for the main, do you know the first like Flash, just like proper origin story comic only came out like I think last year, like where it was just dedicated to his origin, like Barry Allen, and that was it was the Flash Year One comic. It's actually pretty fun. It's not the best, but it's pretty fun. But apart from that, you had like his origin mentioned in stuff like in early comics, but not really focused on in the way that they've done like Superman ones. Like you have like Superman Birthright, and Superman Earth One, Superman Man of Steel. These comics are just dedicated to his origin. Batman has the same, not for the rest of the Justice League. Not even Wonder Woman has that. Like a lot of them. Do you guys know about that, or you don't know about that?
Do not know about that.
Okay, well, it's
do not know about that either.
Just believe me, because
I believe you.
I'm the nerd, man. That's what I do. All right. LOL. I just ranted about this news in my latest video. Okay, cool, man.
Yeah, I gotta check it out.
I'm gonna go and check that out right after. Coates writing this movie worries me. Yep.
It worries me too.
This is Kal-El, and you got Coates who said that 9/11 responders are menaces of nature. You know what? I'll tell you quickly what I make of that. Like, I don't really hold that as against Tanishi Coates as some people like to hold it against him. The man's written volumes and volumes of stuff, and he said something very, very stupid. But I don't know that I want to interpret it in quite the way that certain people are interpreting it. I think he's talking about a larger issue, and he's just writing it in a provocative and stupid way. I don't think he really put it this way. I don't think he really believes that about first responders. I don't know. You know more about him, JG.
Yeah. What people have to understand, right? And I actually had got into a debate with someone on in the comic section a while back. Like they will Google a quote, right, and take it out of context without reading the whole paragraph, all the context that surrounded it, to where it makes sense, right? And yeah, if you don't want Coach to write it, just say that, right? Like look at Mel Gibson. He went on that huge rant when he did, and people would still go watch his films, right? Nobody's gonna say, "Oh, he can't write it." You know what I mean? So it's like I'm ready for you. Like give Black people an opportunity if they deserve that opportunity. Give them an opportunity to write these stories, to make these films, to direct, to produce, but also don't handicap them and mess them up to where we won't see them do it again.
You're right, exactly. And this is what I think this situation is. But Ta-Nehisi Coates is not, I'm just judging him off his rating, right? Yeah. And I did read the full paragraph of that sentence, and it's absolutely ridiculous. What he says. Now,
it's Ta-Nehisi Coates.
But what I'll say about it is that I didn't read the book. I didn't read, the chapter. I just read the whole paragraph around that sentence. And it's kind of like, what are you saying here, man? And he says some other ridiculous stuff that I've seen in interviews as well. But his larger point about what he's saying is not offensive. Whether you disagree with it or not is one thing, but it's not offensive what he's saying in the larger context of his books. So taking one sentence or one paragraph and judging the whole man by that, you could do that with any fucking writer. You could find a sentence, a paragraph, something he said, something he did, and judge his entire career on that. And I think that's, broadly speaking, quite unfair. Because we don't do it to anyone unless we want to, this is, people say about like the left wing canceling people. Well, this is the right trying to cancel somebody for something he said, not trying to understand him, not trying to hear him out for what he meant, just being like, oh, he said this, he's not even a proper human being to walk the streets anymore. I think that's wildly unfair. As you said, they don't do the same thing for what's his name?
Mel Gibson.
Mel Gibson. Like they don't do the same shit for him. So keep your energy the same. Why the hell are they replacing Snyder with JJ? I don't know.
I mean, bridges are burned with Snyder. They're not. I don't ever foresee them ever bringing Snyder on board to do anything else.
Yeah, which is unfortunate. I just don't think they need to have. Do you know what? I'm starting to think DC really doesn't need a Kevin Feige in a way. I just think they need to make good projects and films and get the right directors to match those things. Now, maybe they need somebody who knows comics to assign people, but like even that, it's a nightmare. You have to have the right guy, because Jeff Johns was just like, oh, I'm just gonna make all my comics into films. Yeah, that's basically what he was doing, with Shazam, with Aquaman, with he just wanted to, he didn't want the filmmakers to have their own voice and their own artistic interpretation of these characters. And I think that was the problem of where he butted heads with these people who wanted to do their own things with these characters. And you have to give them the freedom to do that. So, yeah, I mean, we'll see how it goes. But I do think they should have like somebody. They need to get somebody who can at least say, hey, this is a good comic that you should look at. This is a good comic. And then, the filmmakers who would match this comic, and then let them have free reign to do what they will with once they have the comic story that you want them to adapt, or, something like that. Or maybe start with the screenwriter rather than the director, Because the directors often just don't bother reading things. They think they know more than the comics. If you get a writer to adapt, the writers are less powerful, and if you tell them to read the fucking comic, they'll read the comic. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
So that's basically why do they race bend historically white characters before giving always black superheroes their own movies?
Again, repeating because they think we're little puppies and they will take any treat they give us like idiots.
Yep. I'm not entirely opposed to this film, but one, why unnecessarily race bend Clark? Two, it's just gonna repeat the origin and probably make. I don't think they're gonna do another origin story, which is another, in a way, ridiculous thing if you're gonna do a completely new version of the character. But somehow I think they're gonna skip the origin. What do you think?
I mean, you gotta do something to explain why he's black and all this. You have to have some type of origin story.
Yeah.
Am I tired of seeing the origin stories? Yeah, but at the same time, if you're gonna race bend him and change him like that, you need an origin.
Yeah. I don't mind.
Just say Jor-El banged the black chick. Just say that.
Yeah, exactly.
So now we got a biracial. Oh yeah, that's gonna check all the marks and all that shit. Okay,
all
there
the
we
quadrants, go. Yeah. Yeah, I don't mind another origin, but I want an origin that like wipes out Man of Steel. Basically. Yeah. Like, I don't mind them starting from the beginning with Superman and wiping out Man of Steel, or just going for the vibe that was in Zack Snyder's Justice League with Superman and just going from that. No more evil Superman for a while, at least. Build him up as the good character before you deconstruct him. So have him take on Brainiac, maybe another movie, and then you can. Then if you want to do your evil Injustice Superman, have at it. I don't care. So JJ taking over the DCU, JJ, I don't mind him making a film in the DCU. I don't know why he's taking over it. That's my problem. Does he know the comics? Does he know the DC comics? Because it doesn't seem like he does.
He doesn't know anything. He doesn't know anything that is given to him. He just makes it out of his own creativity.
Yeah, well, that's a bad idea. He would be great as a Flash director.
Everything.
Do you know? I think with his style, he would have been a really good Flash director. This is just a start with Superman. The article mentions JJ replacing Snyder. Yeah, well, Snyder's been replaced by someone. Okay. WBDC is a mess. DC said that the Flash is gonna reboot the universe and connect a universe where superheroes are all in different universes. Yeah, that's. Well, thank God Matt Reeves' Batman is different. Yeah, God. It's the only saving grace. Facts. Thank God Matt. Yeah, same thing. And how could DC do this to Henry Cavill's B-Day? They're a bunch of pricks. Yeah. And then we've got a bunch of boycotting Black Superman. Just joined in. Is the Black Superman in the Hamada-verse, or is he in the Joker situation? Or is it like the Joker situation? I think he's in the Hamada-verse as far as we understand. Right? Please, justice with Superman. Denis Villeneuve should be the director of JL2. I don't think that's a bad shout. I think he could continue the Snyderverse. What do you make of that?
I mean, if
we already brought Darkseid.
If it's a Joker situation, I'm all for it. But if it's like they're saying, changing them and putting them in the main universe, I'm just not for it.
You're not for Denis Villeneuve directing Justice League 2?
Shit, I'm sorry. I had to tell. Okay. Yeah, he can do it. He can do it.
I mean,
but the thing is, for me, Snyder has a great blueprint for what we could do with characters, and it seems like they want to go in a totally different direction. I just don't know. I don't know.
But Villeneuve is just a better director, though. That's the thing. But he has the same kind of realism. And look, he's pissed off at Warner Brothers at the moment, really pissed off. So I don't know if he'd even work with them again, because he was one of the big guys who was against like the HBO Max day and date release. He wanted, his film June to come out in cinemas. But, apart from that, I do think he's a really, really good idea to approach. And they probably would have approached. Like, he'd be great for Green Lantern as well. I think he'd be a fantastic Green Lantern director. But I don't know how much interest he has in all of that stuff, to be honest.
But hey, guys, I got to run real quick. Thanks for having me.
I'm okay. Go on. I'm going now anyway. I'm leaving now anyway.
Okay.
So anyway, guys, thanks so much. JG, go run if you've got to run. See you, man.
JG, it was a pleasure. Hope to see you again in the future in another stream.
Yeah,
man. Like, you want to stream that on? Let me know. I'm free the rest of the day.
Okay. All right. Thanks, man. All right. Guys, it's been great. And it's been great having this discussion. It kind of pisses me off, obviously. Like, I just don't know what DC are really doing.
They're not doing anything, my friend. They are literally just it's like they're taking names out of a hat.
Yeah. So I'm gonna leave it there. I mean, I've said my piece, and it's not really going to impact much anyway. What I think, but that is, this is a place where we can all share our pain over why DC is, purposefully destroying itself at the moment. But in the meantime, do give me a like. If you enjoyed this conversation, subscribe for more content. And of course, comment. I love the comments, and I will respond to all the comments as well. And apart from that, Fenya, you want to say bye?
I honestly have nothing else to say. I'm just too tired with all this information. So, yeah, I'm Fenrir the Ice Wolf, yada, yada, yada. You want to know more about me, go look for my channel. Or if you want to know more information of what kind of person I am, just look at the old videos and you'll know. Don't forget to leave a like to this guy because he totally deserves it. And subscribe to his channel. He needs it.
Thank you very much, Fenya. All right, guys, I'm going to see you on the flip side. Love you 3000. Peace.